The paradox of self-care. Why treating yourself might be hurting you. Welcome to the BlackCEO Podcast. Today we're diving deep into a topic that might shake the very foundations of how you view self-care. I'm thrilled to share with you some groundbreaking insights I gained from a recent interview with Ana Lorian, a true visionary in the field of holistic wellness and self-care. Ana's work isn't just transforming lives, it's revolutionizing our entire approach to well-being. Her impact on making the world a better place is nothing short of extraordinary, and I can't wait to explore the valuable lessons she shared. Imagine for a moment that everything you thought you knew about taking care of yourself was wrong. What if the very actions you've been taking in the name of self-care were actually holding you back from true healing and empowerment? It's a provocative thought, isn't it? But that's exactly what we're here to discuss today. Let's start with the question that might make you uncomfortable. When was the last time your self-care routine left you feeling truly transformed rather than just temporarily pampered? Think about it. We live in a world where treat yourself has become a mantra plastered across social media, magazines, and billboards. But what if I told you that this approach to self-care might be doing us more harm than good? When you hear the term self-care, what images pop into your mind? Spa days, manicures, and pedicures? Maybe a luxurious bubble bath or a day spent binge watching your favorite TV show? If so, you're not alone. Our society has conditioned us to view self-care as a series of indulgent, often superficial activities designed to make us feel good in the moment. But here's the paradox that Ana Lorian revealed in our conversation. True self-care isn't just about what feels good right now. It's about nurturing ourselves in a way that brings lasting balance, healing, and empowerment. This might sound contradictory, even heretical in our pleasure-seeking culture. After all, isn't the whole point of self-care to feel good? Well, yes and no, and that's exactly what we're here to unpack today. Ana shared a profound insight that challenged everything I thought I knew about self-care. She said self-care has been positioned as a very superficial concept, complete with spa days and mani-pedis, when it's really about restoration. This statement hit me like a thunderbolt. It made me realize that we've been looking at self-care through a distorted lens, one that prioritizes temporary pleasure over lasting well-being. Think about it for a moment. How many times have you treated yourself to a day of pampering only to find that the stress and anxiety you were trying to escape came rushing back as soon as you returned to your daily life? It's like putting a designer Band-Aid on a gaping wound. Sure, it might look pretty and make you feel better for a little while, but it's not addressing the root of the problem. Ana explained that hormonal imbalances, chronic stress, and even unresolved trauma show up in our bodies in ways we often don't recognize or choose to ignore. And here's the kicker. No amount of eyelash extensions, fancy facials, or decadent desserts are going to heal these deeper issues. And it's a hard truth to swallow, especially in a world that constantly tells us that looking good on the outside is the key to feeling good on the inside. But what if we've got it all backwards? What if true self-care isn't about external treatments at all, but about diving deep into our own bodies and psyches to address the root causes of our discomfort? What if the path to genuine well-being requires us to face the very things we've been trying to escape? This is where Ana's approach to self-care becomes truly revolutionary. She advocates for combining holistic healing practices like acupuncture, yoni steaming, and reiki to help women address the root cause of their discomfort, not just the symptoms. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Acupuncture, yoni steaming, that sounds a bit out there. And I get it. These practices might seem foreign or even a little intimidating if you're used to the typical Western approach to health and wellness. But here's the thing. These ancient practices have been used for thousands of years to promote healing and balance in the body. They're not about quick fixes or surface level treatments. They're about tapping into the body's innate wisdom and ability to heal itself. They're about addressing the whole person, body, mind, and spirit, rather than just treating isolated symptoms. Let's take acupuncture, for example. This practice, which involves inserting thin needles into specific points on the body, has been shown to help with everything from chronic pain to anxiety and depression. It works by stimulating the body's natural healing processes and promoting balance in our energy systems. It's not always comfortable. In fact, it can sometimes be downright uncomfortable. But that discomfort is often a sign that real healing is taking place. Or consider yoni steaming, an ancient practice that involves sitting over a steaming bowl of herb-infused water. While it might sound unusual or even embarrassing to some, many women report that it helps with menstrual cramps, hormonal imbalances, and even emotional healing. It's a practice that requires us to slow down, to connect with our bodies in a way that might feel unfamiliar or vulnerable. But it's through this vulnerability that true healing can occur. And then there's Reiki, a Japanese technique for stress reduction and relaxation that also promotes healing. It's based on the idea that an unseen life force energy flows through us and is what causes us to be alive. When this energy is low, we're more likely to get sick or feel stressed, and when it's high, we are more capable of being happy and healthy. Reiki isn't about pampering or indulgence. It's about aligning our energy, about clearing blockages that might be preventing us from experiencing true well-being. Now, I'm not saying you need to abandon your favorite face mask or give up your monthly manicure. What I am saying is that true self-care goes far beyond these surface level treatments. It's about listening to your body, addressing underlying imbalances, and nurturing yourself on a deep cellular level. It's about being willing to face the uncomfortable truths about ourselves and our lives, rather than constantly seeking to escape them. This approach to self-care isn't always easy or comfortable. In fact, it can be downright challenging at times. It might mean facing emotions or traumas you've been avoiding for years. It might mean making lifestyle changes that feel difficult at first. It might mean prioritizing practices that don't provide instant gratification. But the rewards, they're immeasurable. Imagine waking up each day feeling truly balanced and at peace. Imagine having the energy and vitality to pursue your passions without feeling constantly drained or overwhelmed. Imagine being free from the nagging health issues that have been holding you back. This is what true self-care can offer. It's not about fleeting moments of pleasure, but about creating a sustainable state of well-being that permeates every aspect of your life. But don't just take my word for it. Let's look at some real-life examples that illustrate the power of this holistic approach to self-care. Ana shared the story of Sarah, a high-powered executive who came to her complaining of chronic fatigue, digestive issues, and a general sense of disconnection from her body. Sarah had tried everything: expensive spa treatments, yoga retreats, even a personal chef to prepare healthy meals, but nothing seemed to make a lasting difference. When Ana suggested that Sarah try acupuncture and reiki, Sarah was skeptical. She didn't see how getting poked with needles or waving hands over her body could possibly help. But desperate for a change, she decided to give it a try. The first few sessions were uncomfortable for Sarah. The acupuncture needles triggered sensations she wasn't used to, and the Reiki sessions brought up emotions she had been suppressing for years. There were times when she wanted to quit, to go back to her comfortable routine of massages and facials. But Sarah persevered, and after a few months, she noticed profound changes. Her energy levels improved dramatically. Her digestive issues cleared up. But most importantly, she felt a sense of connection to her body that she had never experienced before. She became more intuitive about what her body needed, more attuned to the subtle signals it was sending her. Sarah's story illustrates a crucial point. True healing often requires us to move through discomfort. It requires us to face the very things we've been trying to avoid. But it's through this process that we can achieve lasting transformation. Or consider the case of Maria, a young woman who had been struggling with severe menstrual pain and irregular cycles for years. She had tried every over-the-counter remedy available, spent countless dollars on pain relief products, and even considered surgery as a last resort. When Maria heard about yoni steaming, she was hesitant. The practice seemed strange, even a bit embarrassing, but encouraged by a friend, she decided to give it a try. The first few sessions were challenging for Maria. Sitting with the steam rising between her legs, she felt vulnerable and exposed. But as she continued the practice, she began to notice changes. Her menstrual pain decreased significantly. Her cycles became more regular. But perhaps most surprisingly, she found herself becoming more comfortable with her own body, more accepting of its natural rhythms and processes. Maria's experience shows us that true self-care often involves practices that might seem unconventional or even uncomfortable at first. But it's through these practices that we can achieve deep, lasting healing. These stories are just the tip of the iceberg. There's a growing body of research supporting the effectiveness of these holistic practices in promoting overall health and well-being. But here's where it gets really interesting. Ana Lorian pointed out that these practices don't just address physical symptoms. They also help us tap into our emotional and spiritual well-being. And this is crucial because so many of our physical ailments are rooted in emotional or psychological distress. Think about the last time you were really stressed out. Did you notice how it affected your body? Maybe you got headaches or your stomach was in knots. Maybe you couldn't sleep or you found yourself reaching for unhealthy comfort foods. This is a perfect example of how our emotional state can directly impact our physical health. By addressing these deeper underlying issues, holistic self-care practices help us achieve a level of healing and balance that goes far beyond what we can achieve with surface-level treatments alone. They force us to confront the root causes of our discomfort rather than just masking the symptoms. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. This all sounds great, but I don't have time for all this holistic stuff. I can barely find time to shower some days, let alone sit for an hour of acupuncture. And I hear you, we're all busy. We're all juggling multiple responsibilities and roles. But here's the thing. True self-care isn't about adding more to your to-do list. It's about prioritizing your health and well-being in a way that allows you to show up more fully in all areas of your life. Think about it this way. When you're on an airplane, the flight attendants always tell you to put your own oxygen mask on before helping others. Why? Because if you run out of oxygen, you can't help anyone else. The same principle applies to self-care. By taking care of yourself on a deep, holistic level, you're not being selfish. You're ensuring that you have the energy, balance, and vitality to show up fully in your life and for the people you care about. This brings me to another crucial point that Ana Lorian emphasized in our conversation. Self-care isn't just about what feels good in the moment. It's about making choices that support your long-term health and well-being. Sometimes this might mean doing things that are uncomfortable or challenging in the short term, but that pay off in big ways down the road. For example, maybe you know that you need to address some unresolved trauma from your past. The thought of diving into that might feel scary or overwhelming. It might be tempting to just push it down and distract yourself with more superficial forms of self-care. But by facing that trauma head on with the support of a qualified therapist or healer, you're setting yourself up for true healing and freedom. Or maybe you know that your diet is contributing to hormonal imbalances that are wreaking havoc on your body. Changing your eating habits might feel difficult at first, especially if you're used to turning to certain foods for comfort. But by making those changes, you're investing in your long-term health and well-being. This is where the real power of self-care lies. It's not about quick fixes or temporary feel-good moments. It's about making consistent choices that honor and support your whole self, body, mind, and spirit. Now, I want to be clear about something. This holistic approach to self-care doesn't mean you have to completely overhaul your life overnight. In fact, Ana Lorian emphasized the importance of starting small and being consistent. Maybe you start by incorporating a 5-minute meditation into your morning routine. Or maybe you book one acupuncture session a month. The key is to start somewhere and to approach it with curiosity and compassion for yourself. As we start to wrap up, I want to leave you with a thought-provoking question. What would your life look like if you approach self-care as a form of deep, holistic restoration rather than just a series of feel-good moments? How might it change your relationships, your work, your overall sense of well-being? I encourage you to sit with this question. Really let it sink in, because here's the thing. You have the power to transform your life through true self-care. You have the ability to tap into your body's innate wisdom and healing capabilities. You have the opportunity to nurture yourself on a level that goes far beyond bubble baths and face masks. So here's my challenge to you. This week, try one form of holistic self-care. Maybe it's booking an acupuncture appointment. Maybe it's trying a guided meditation. Maybe it's simply taking a few minutes each day to check in with your body and ask it what it needs. Whatever it is, approach it with an open mind and a willingness to explore. Remember, true self-care isn't about perfection. is not about following a strict regimen or adhering to someone else's idea of what's best for you. It's about listening to your own body, honoring your own needs, and making choices that support your overall well-being. As Ana Lorian so beautifully put it, self-care isn't just about what feels good in the moment. It's about nurturing yourself in a way that brings lasting balance, healing, and empowerment. Let these words be your guide as you embark on your own journey of true self-care. In closing, I want to express my deepest gratitude to Ana Lorian for sharing her wisdom and insights. Her work is truly transforming lives and challenging us to think differently about what it means to take care of ourselves. Now, I want to leave you with a call to action, a challenge, if you will. I want you to take a hard look at your current self-care routine. Are you truly nurturing yourself, or are you just putting Band-Aids on deeper issues? Are you willing to face the uncomfortable truths about your health and well-being, or are you content with surface-level treatments? I challenge you to be brave, to be willing to dive deep into your own healing journey, to prioritize practice that might not provide instant gratification, but that offer profound, lasting transformation. I challenge you to redefine what self-care means to you, because here's the truth. You deserve more than just fleeting moments of pleasure. You deserve deep, lasting healing. You deserve to feel truly alive, balanced, and empowered. And that kind of well-being doesn't come from a spa day or a new outfit. It comes from a commitment to nurturing yourself on the deepest level possible. So, will you accept this challenge? Will you dare to revolutionize your approach to self-care? Will you be brave enough to face the discomfort that often precedes true healing? The choice is yours. But remember, every moment you spend truly caring for yourself is an investment in your future. It's an act of self-love that ripples out into every area of your life. And ultimately, it's how we create a world where true well-being is the norm, not the exception. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of true self-care. Now go forth, nurture yourself deeply, and watch as your life transforms from the inside out. The journey might not always be easy, but I promise you it's worth it. Your future self will thank you.